January 24th, 41 AD. Rome is celebrating. The games of Augustus are in full swing. 50,000 Romans fill the stands, cheering, laughing, completely unaware that in a narrow underground passageway beneath the arena, the most powerful man in the world is about to be stabbed 30 times by the very soldiers sworn to protect him. His name was Caligula, and this is the story of why Rome decided he had to die. To understand why they killed him, you have to understand who he was, and more importantly, who he started out as. In 37 AD, when Caligula became emperor at just 24 years old, Rome erupted in joy. After years under the cold, paranoid rule of Emperor Tiberius, the people were desperate for something new. Caligula was young, charismatic, the son of the beloved general Germanicus. He was everything Rome wanted. In his first months, he freed political prisoners, recalled exiles, and canceled unfair taxes. The Roman historian Suetonius wrote that people called him a star, a gift from the gods. But then, something changed. About 6 months into his reign, Caligula fell severely ill. When he recovered, he was a different man. Whether it was the illness, the absolute power, or something darker in his mind, no one knows for certain. What history does know is what came next. Caligula began executing senators without trial. He forced fathers to watch their own sons be killed, then invited them to dinner the same evening, and expected them to laugh and drink. He declared himself a living god. He built a bridge directly to the temple of Jupiter so he could walk there and, in his words, have conversations as an equal. He drained the Roman treasury, accumulated over decades, in less than a year. On lavish banquets, on personal monuments, on gold-plated ships, just to sail on a lake for pleasure. And the people began to starve. But it wasn't just cruelty that made him dangerous. It was the unpredictability. You never knew when the emperor's mood would turn. A senator who laughed too loudly at dinner might be dead by morning. A general who won a battle might be executed for outshining him. Even the Praetorian Guard, Rome's most elite soldiers, the men whose only job was to protect the emperor, were not safe. And one of them, in particular, had had enough. His name was Cassius Chaerea, a decorated military veteran, a tribune of the Praetorian Guard, a man who had survived the disaster of the Teutoburg Forest Massacre, where 3 entire Roman legions were wiped out in a single ambush. A man who had seen real war and survived it. Caligula mocked him, relentlessly. He gave him humiliating passwords for the daily guard rotation, words like pretty or Venus, designed to make the hardened soldier look weak in front of his men. For a soldier of Chaerea's reputation, this was unbearable. By early 41 AD, Chaerea had found others who felt the same way. Not just guards, senators, equestrians, high-ranking members of the court. The plot was known by dozens, maybe more. The plan? Wait for a moment when Caligula was separated from his German mercenaries, the foreign bodyguards who were personally loyal to him and who had no love for the Roman political system. That moment came on January 24th, during the Games of Augustus, a public festival. A narrow underground passageway connecting the palace to the theater. A few seconds where the emperor would be alone. Caligula was walking through the Cryptoporticus, a covered underground corridor beneath the Palatine Hill, on his way to address a group of young performers. Chaerea stepped forward. He drew his sword and struck the emperor across the neck. Caligula did not fall immediately. He shouted, "I am still alive!" Then the others closed in. 30 stab wounds, That is what the historians record. 30. When it was over, the conspirators scattered through the palace. Caligula's German bodyguards, hearing the news, went on a rampage, killing several senators and bystanders in blind rage before they were brought under control. Meanwhile, somewhere in the palace, behind a curtain, trembling in fear, was a man named Claudius, Caligula's uncle. A man everyone had dismissed as harmless. A man the Praetorian Guard was about to make emperor. The Senate immediately declared it a restoration of the Republic. They believed they had won. They believed Rome was free. They were wrong. The Praetorian Guard had no interest in a republic. A republic meant less power for them. So while the senators debated, the Guard made a decision. They found Claudius hiding. They carried him on their shoulders through the palace, and they declared him emperor. Not because Claudius was powerful, not because he was strong, but precisely because he wasn't. A weak emperor was a controllable emperor. The Senate had no choice but to accept it. The assassination of Caligula didn't restore the Republic. It revealed something far more frightening, that Rome wasn't ruled by its emperor. It wasn't ruled by its Senate. It was ruled by whoever held the sword. History doesn't remember the men who obeyed. It remembers the ones who decided enough was enough. If you want more stories like this, the ones the history books skip, subscribe to Dark Chronicles. Every week, we go deeper. And next time, we follow the man they put on the throne instead, Claudius, the emperor everyone underestimated, and the dark secret behind his rise.